by the power of Grayskull.
Not the good kind of willies.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Until Dawn on the PS4. It's free to download this month, and you get like the full game and everything. It took a while to download because it's like, I think it's good part of 40 odd gig to download, so make sure you got the space. But I remember when this first came out, it wasn't that long ago, like, but I just thought, oh, I can't be arsed with it. And the only reason I'm giving it the time of day is because I got it for free. I don't think I'd ever pay money for it because there's not that much participation in terms of gameplay. It's basically just like you choose, you make different choices, and the things you say people remember, and then it like that determines what path you go down. So there's lots of replayability. You know what I mean? It's like there's loads of different options and storylines, so it's good in that way. But the only problem is that, like I say, you're just watching a cutscene for the most part, and it gets boring because like you can't skip. There's times like this where you do get a little bit of participation, where you know you get a chance just to play, but then even then it's not very much gameplay before you're having to like sit and watch another 10-minute like cutscene, and then you use like what they're called, like quick time events, you know, like where basically it's a cutscene and then it'll come up like triangle, or like press your left stick around in a circle and shit like that. There's stuff like that on this where it you've got to react in a quick time, because if you're not, you could get killed, and that's the whole point. There's like some psycho where he's like stalking everybody, and it's like everyone in the log cabin basically is getting stalked off this killer, and so you basically try and keep everybody alive by the things you say and do determines whether who stays alive or not, because sometimes you can say something or do something wrong, and then next thing you know your character's died, and then that's just like one less life basically, and then you've got to try and get through and solve the mystery kind of thing before everybody dies. I mean, it's a really good idea, but it's just there's not enough gameplay for me to call it like a game. I don't know, I mean, I take that back. It is definitely a game, and you do get gameplay, and it's interesting to play, but I suppose it's just not my type of game, so it doesn't really interest us that much. But just see he's walking into the fence there. That's what I hated about Resident Evil back in the day for the PS2, and that is like a fixed camera, and then you're trying to navigate, and then it changes. See how I'm walking that way, because you've got to change your direction as you walk through the different, as the scene changes, you've got to change your direction accordingly. But I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not like a new game genre. It's been out forever. It's just that's a thingy. It's like a new idea. This is more like gameplay. See, you get options. I could either check my notebook or check my phone. So I check my phone here. If I had checked my notebook, something else might have happened. So that makes you want to replay it. Or wait, some people. And this is just more kind of gameplay. It's not like this all the time. This is what I'm saying. I've only just put the gameplay bits in. Really, because it's to show you what it's like when you're actually playing. So you can run to the bench, or you can grab the snowball. So that again, that's like another fork in the road, and so it gives you 2 scenarios or 3 scenarios to do every time you come across like a situation or a conversation. So like I said before, you could maybe do the first 2 like you've always done, and then do the third one differently, and then when you replay it again, do the first one different, and the second and third one do it the same, and like it'll just mix it up. I would like to see. It's good to think like how long or how many different times you can play it, like how long the game will last if you played it differently every single time. I suppose you'd have to make a note of what you've picked and the things you've said and that, so you knew like what to pick and what not to pick. But you know, there's loads of things, loads of games like this. I mean, I'm playing Game of Thrones by Telltale at the moment, so that's like, it's a similar thing where you're watching just a massive cutscene and then you just get to pick and you have a few quick time events, and then, you know, there's not much gameplay to it. But I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan at the moment, so you know, that's the only reason why I can be asked to sit and watch, because like a lot of the characters from the TV show are in there. But this is like a really bad B movie kind of horror movie where loads of lush teenagers all like in the forest or fucking, you know, down by the river or something, and they're running away from like a complete psycho who's chopping them up. And then there's always there's those moments where you have where you're screaming at the screen like, don't do it, like, don't go in there, how stupid is that? And you get annoyed because the things they do are just idiotic. Like, you hear a noise or something, or, you know, someone's just been killed, and then they'll go somewhere else alone in the dark, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, it's basically just the way the old movies are, and I think that's what they're harkening back to, that kind of 90s horror movies where it was like shit, but back then they were class. But you know what I mean, it's that kind of feeling where you just, you know, they're all gonna get killed, but you've just, it's how and like when. But I suppose the point of the game is to try and keep them all alive. I wonder if you can actually complete it without getting anybody killed if you do all the right things, kind of thing. So I've never really looked into it that much. Like I say, it's the full game. It's there to free download. So if you want it, then you may as well go and check it out, because you know, it's worth playing. Like, even if you not your kind of game, you still enjoy it when you have a go. So that's it basically. So if you like the look of it, then you may as well just go and download it, because it's free. That's it really. See you later.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.